I can't blame it on this generation because it's happened for 20 years. Like, I've been in the media for 21 years. 21 years. And every year somebody drops a football before they go in the end zone. Here's Kirk Herbstreit in real time on the play.
What in the heck is he thinking? Why the urgency for some of these guys to drop the ball before they, even if it's close, finish the play.
Absolutely.
Get in the end zone.
Here's Jeff Ulbrich, the head coach, the interim head coach, about the play after the game.
First of all, you can't do that. And second of all, you owe us one. Definitely frustrated, to be honest, and angry at the same time. But what an amazing opportunity for this kid to grow and learn from. I promise you, 10 years from now when he's still playing in this league, that will never happen again.
Yeah, well, I mean, it won't happen to him, but for whatever reason, it happens every year. Right? Like, Dan, you've been doing this 20 years. I'm guessing that if we draw on our memory, it feels like every year this happens. Literally every year, college or pro, somebody drops the ball before they go in the end zone.
Darn near feels like it's every week. I mean,
it happened in Oregon, right? Didn't an Oregon kid do it? Or was it an Oregon game?
Yeah, and I was even thinking of last week, and Kyle Pitts kind of went into the end zone in a lazy fashion, and Antoine Winfield almost stripped him of the ball at the goal line. They couldn't get a real good review of it, but yeah, it seems to be every single week, whether it be in college or the NFL, that someone does this. It feels that way. I know it's not that much, but it feels like it's way more common.
Now, when the coach, what's his name, Coach Ulbrich, when he says that that's never going to happen again, that implies intent. Dan, do you think he did it on purpose? Do you think these players do it on purpose?
I think they do it to showboat. I think that it's their way of dropping the ball, ain't no thing. I'm in the end zone, time to party. I do my stuff. That's what I think it is.
My working hypothesis, again, because I don't know, hypothesis, theories when it's proven. My working hypothesis is, guys, and yes, I don't know if it's showboat or celebrate or whatever, probably a little bit of both, but it's that you lose your mind. You see the end zone and you just lose your mind, like out-of-body experience. Was it Rod Tidwell? Right? Wasn't that the character that Cuba Gooding Jr. played in Jerry Maguire? Remember at the end, he's in the end zone and he just starts dancing and he never dances, but he's just overcome by the emotion of the moment. He starts crying and blowing kisses to his wife and his son on TV. You guys remember that? It's a real thing that dudes just lose their mind. Just all that dopamine at once and you lose your... Do you buy that at all, Jason?
Well, I mean, so your theory implies that it's accidental. And I'm with Dan on this. It's some kind of showboating move. I just don't understand how or why they could justify it. And these players, by the way, Kyle Pitts wasn't asked about it Sunday. This kid was not available for interview last night. I need one answer. Why do you do that?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. I don't know. Do you think he meant to do it?
That's what Dan thinks. That's what I think. Yeah.
I think he meant to. I mean, he didn't mean to fumble, but I felt like he wanted to start whatever his celebration was going to be at that point. And the celebration could be, look at me, or I'm going to skip in the end zone, or do whatever, and this ball is only going to hamper what I'm about to drop on these fans. And by the way, again, no big thing, no big deal. Just take this ball, whatever. All right, you guys can have it. Here's the real show. That's what I feel it is.
Sam?
I agree with Dan. I think it's partly that. I also think it's maybe like bliss or euphoria-induced kind of carelessness. Is it like you're in a blur, you're running over the line, and you were careless because you should have just held on to it for another half a second.
It really is crazy, though. Like, every time we see it, we're like, oh, man, how do they do it? It happens all the time. I don't understand. I really don't understand. I thought the whole idea of guys, they want to celebrate. Why are they dropping the ball? I guess to go celebrate more quickly without the foot. I just don't get it.
It reminds me, sorry, Dan, it reminds me, say one of your players hits a three or takes a three and then starts running back the other way like Steph Curry. and the ball comes off, and if he just followed a shot, it would have been a rebound or something.
Yeah, you
it
don't
was
follow
like
your
one of
shot.
those showboat moves. In the moment, I'm going to emphasize this play by showboating. I think that's what it is. No?
Yeah, except for, remember, you have to actually score first. So it does. I get it. You're thinking it's like the Kemba Walker, right? Wasn't it Kemba who famously, when he was in Charlotte, he had the
Sure,
ball
yeah.
go around, and then he turned around and then went out. He thought it went in.
Yeah, Swaggy P too.
Yeah.
There's
I
just
don't
is
know.
there's no the extreme is obviously the other side is Barry Sanders handing the ball to the referee,
Sure.
and I don't know why a player wouldn't make their thing say, my thing is when I score, I go and I take the football and I put it next to the goalpost. You know, like that's there. They'll never fumble because guess what? Their thing is you can't wait to see you run and put the football by the goalpost. That's should be their thing. But for some reason as well, and listen, this guy hasn't scored any touchdowns in the NFL, and what Ulbrich is saying is that, 10 years in your career, no, you'll never get that touchdown back.
Nope.
That thing will bother you till the day you die.
No question. I mean, and it was on Thursday Night Football, so it's a standalone game, so
Yeah.
everybody saw it. And, I mean, a perfect example is everybody calls it the Deshaun Jackson, right? And D-Jax, he did it once or twice.
I know he did it in the pros, and I can't remember. I thought there was a Cal-Oregon game where there was something that happened of similar ilk, but I could be wrong. But I know it happened in Dallas against the Cowboys. And I just there's also like the point of like you cross the finish line and you think you are in the end zone. Like you may think that you're 3 yards in, but your body is still, the back half of the body or where your football is or where your arm is, completely different scenario from where you actually are on the field. Still doesn't give you a reason to let it go.
It's that blissful blur.
This is the other crap we're talking about with the New York Jets, to be honest with you. Like they had no Doug, and I know you pointed out some of the things that went wrong with the Texans, but they had no business losing last week to the New England Patriots. None. Yeah, absolutely.
There's zero. And listen, that's a great point, Mick. Go ahead. I'll let you make it, and then I'll back it up.
But it's the point too of like why would you try to bet on the NFL when crap like this happens? You want to talk about points, spreads, the whole deal. Now in the end, didn't matter last night. But I guarantee you the next 4 times that it does, it's probably going to matter again.
Well, I wouldn't take it in the betting thing. I would take it as this is where Aaron Rodgers is probably right. It was in the way in which he made it public that he shouldn't have said it. He talked about being accountability, because even look at last night, right? Give away a touchdown there, and then obviously they're very fortunate that the Texans missed the field goal. But what happened was they kick a field goal, but they just ran over the long snapper, so they got a chance to score a touchdown. If the Texans were decent at all, they scored a touchdown there, totally different game. Yes. And the Texans were completely outplayed by the Jets, and yet the Jets just gave away points.
Yeah, another reason to never bet.
You mentioned New England, and everyone told me in the NFL last year, they're like, yeah, they're not a disciplined team at all. And here's the thing, that's on Robert Saleh, that's on their GM as well. Hey, where they just have not held guys accountable.